What is poppin', gamers? It is time. You thought you were safe this year, um, but no chance, no way, Jose. It's time for Good Games Canon number 3. This time the 2010s edition. So we didn't do this publicly last time, but basically, if naturally if you're doing a little vote, and if you're trying to go for 12 nominees, the thing that's gonna happen is that you're gonna have some ties. And today we're here to resolve the ties. Again, we're trying to narrow this down to 12 nominees per year, and then just like last time, just like the 2000s edition, if you want to check that out, that's on the channel. We will do a tournament style. Well, this is going to be a little different, but you'll see. Discussion round where we try to determine the top 4 game for every year of that decade. And yeah, again, I have a wonderful panel with me. Just say hello, everybody, all at once.
What's up?
Hello.
Hello.
Good
There
night.
you go. Yeah, and we got our list of games to be eliminated here. Oops. Oh, I don't know how to scroll. I'm a boomer. Some years are much more dense than others. We put a 10-minute time limit on every year that we're going to discuss, which obviously does not take into account how like packed each individual year is. But we've decided that actually makes it funnier. So this will be the slop round. This will not be methodical, well reasoned. It's all about just it's a pure shouting match basically. Also, you may notice, I don't know, there's gonna be a couple mistakes. The couple that like I noticed, for example, here it counted Kane and Lynch as 2 separate games. But you can tell, okay, this wouldn't have affected the vote anyway, so like I just left that shit in. If you find any other mistakes, you the viewer, I don't care. It is what it is. As long as I get my will across. Which I don't know if that will happen, but yeah. Does anyone have any like sort of opening words, opening statements?
You all have terrible taste.
It's true.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bloodbath.
It's very bad so far. Okay, I'll just get going for now with our first year, 2010, and we have 1 game to eliminate between Alan Wake and Pokemon Black/White.
I'm voting for Alan Wake. Convince me not to.
Okay.
As the Alan of this call, don't vote for Alan Wake. He's the inferior Alan. Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, Pokemon Black and White, really good visuals, really fun battles, great villain. Alan Wake, remedy slop. Finland is not a real country. Washed. Next.
Yes. Look.
Pokemon. I do really like the art style of that gen of Pokemon. As someone who doesn't really care about Pokemon, I do think that is a really nice quality.
Yeah, most of my like adoration for Pokemon comes from just like the Pokemon, and Gen 5 does have like a lot of my favorites. So I don't know shit about the gameplay, but I like the game.
The biggest decks of any game, the prettiest games, the ones with the most story for whatever that's worth. It's kind of like the culmination of everything they'd been working on since Gen 1. It's just the good one.
I think both these games are bad, but Pokemon has ROM hacks.
Yeah.
Not wrong, honestly.
Hey y'all.
I think Alan Wake is like endearingly bad. I don't know. There's something when I was playing and I just kind of like it's kind of not good, but in that fun way.
I don't understand the Alan Wake stocks. I don't understand like why people shoot for this game. It seems so. They had the basic idea and then they did it in like the most basic way possible.
So it is done in the very basic way.
Well, this is the one that was in development hell for like a million years.
Yes.
And then
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You could say
It's wild
Ziyad
how
sleep
little
on
they
Alan
build
Wake.
up on
So-
mechanics.
I want to say, Alan Wake, this seems like a John coded game somehow. Like, John, you're an enjoyer of slop. Like,
I'm an enjoyer of slop. You were asking why people would shoot for this. I would say because this is a game that you play when you're 15. Or I know that I did. And I think many people played this when they were 15. And it's like, oh, this is metatextual. Oh, at the beginning of the game, talked about Stephen King, wrote about writers.
yeah.
And then the main guy's a writer. And I think being on that ride for a lot of people was like, holy shit. games can do this. Games can be like movies that you play. This is crazy. And for me, when I played it, it totally was crazy. I think going back to it now, it's like
It's fine, honestly.
fine, and I think it's also like the next gen. I think the new generation has like Control. I think has many of the same qualities, but it's like okay.
Yeah.
And I think for like this group, we probably all like. I don't think we actually voted for it, but I think like Max Payne 1. And I think Alan Wake is probably the one that is sort of caught in between, as and again because I think it was meant to be like an open world game, which is why the areas are so massive, and it has like such a weirdly well realized setting. But it's like you can kind of tell they were trying to hammer out something with like the assets they've been sitting on for many years, and I think like Max Payne would be like an easier recommendation. Control would be an easier recommendation. Yeah, I'm interested to play the sequel at some point, but that doesn't really like account for this game being any good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Game you play when you're 5 versus game you play when you're 15.
Find your inner child.
So would you liken that to, say, you read a book at 15 years old, and you think, wow, this is a great book, I feel really smart for reading this, and then years later you realize, oh no, Infinite Jest was actually quite bad.
Yeah.
That's how I felt reading the fucking Hunger Games in school, dog. I was like, this is brilliant. And then I grew up and I was like, wow, this sucks.
Okay, that's wrong.
the
I
Hunger
think it's the other way
Games.
around for me.
I have this uncharitable take on Remedy in general that I feel like their whole thing is like getting caught up in like references and referencing things. And that's something I've grown more and more cold toward. That's maybe a larger discussion. Maybe I shouldn't open up the box, but like, they sort of do it sort of with a finesse and a style and like a notch wink wink that I think makes their games likable to many people. But for me, that only carries it so far. I don't know how y'all feel about that.
Yeah,
I think Max Payne and 1 and 2 would do a good job at that.
Yeah, I'll say the way it uses Max Payne in the Ghost and Alan Wake is very introspective, because it was during a time where Sam Lake was very doubtful about his writing, and I think that showcased really well in the writing of the game, and the way he uses that Max Payne story to explore Sam Lake as a writer for Remedy.
Max Payne might be a beach gen thing we'll have to get to eventually. I guess what I'm hearing here is okay. Alan Wake, more like Alan Gone. Bam.
Yeah,
Bye, Alan.
Yeah.
Bye, Alan.
Later, y'all.
All right. So 2011. I feel like
Yuck.
Just take the right half. Just take the right half, and
honestly, I agree.
guess, yeah.
I feel like
Marvel
Marvel
vs.
is such
Capcom 3 is a lock, right?
Marvel is an easy lock.
Yeah.
Marvel,
Yeah.
What happened to
Thank God.
Spelunky?
Since
I
it's
think
a
it
lot-
went for 2012 for some reason.
since it's a lot, can I
Oh.
just shit on it for 10
Or wait,
minutes?
Oh, right. Sorry. My bad. Never mind.
wait, is Spelunky in this one?
No,
Wait,
2012.
That's
I was-
No,
Spelunky is 2012.
Spelunky's next year.
yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Marvel and Gears. Okay, we can go on.
Yeah, but
Yeah, we can
don't
move
we
on.
have we have a rule, right, where it's the OG release that counts, right?
Oh, OG
Yes.
Marvel is dog shit.
I know that's what
No.
that's what
Not what it means.
gets me
That's
hung
not
up
what
a
that
little
means.
because it's like Ultimate Marvel is such a vast improvement due to the balance change.
We're
No,
ta-
but
Like if
but
you
we're
play that
talking
game,
about
to the
OG
It's
most,
OG
seriously.
release date, but we're talking about the game as a whole across
Okay.
from when
Yeah,
it came out
yeah,
to
we're
when
talking
it came
about
out.
the best
It is not
It's-
looking at OG release.
Yeah,
simply.
that's how I look at it.
It's-
It's not a hard and fast rule. It's a little fluid. We can be a little nuanced with how we look at it. I'm not saying
There's no fucking way I would vote for Terraria if it was
Yeah.
just the OG.
like
It's just kind of weird because nobody who plays Marvel 3 has given a shit about the vanilla release since Ultimate came out.
Well, because Ultimate is basically like the finalized version of Marvel's Capcom 3. It's a
Yeah,
way that
you
a
don't
fighting
play-
game
You
updates to
don't
a
play
different
a Street
version.
Fighter 3, you play Third Strike. Have you tried playing Street Fighter 3 OG?
Second Impact actually owns all
it's
three.
so sick.
I didn't play Second Impact.
We've discussed it because we had to do this whole thing last time with Ninja Gaiden Black and fucking Freedom Unite, all these games. It is not about the version, it is literally just about synchronizing the release dates.
Yes.
So that, and this happened this time too. We had a bunch of ones where like with disparate release dates and people like couldn't synchronize their votes. It's just to make that easier. It has nothing to fucking do with the original version.
Let me conspire against MVC3, damn it.
No, that game is good. The only reason like it wasn't a lock in the first place is because not enough people in here are good at it. And I'm saying that as someone who's watched a lot of Marvel 3, I'm not good at Marvel 3 myself. I didn't vote for it, but like out of this set, I mean, it's obviously like the best game on here.
Also, the box art goes way harder than Ultimate.
I don't
That's
play
true.
fighting games at all, but I have played like a decent chunk of Marvel.
It is the only expressive fighting game out there.
Can you zoom in on the box art for Marvel 3 and how hideous Beautiful Joe and Annie look on it?
Okay, that's true. That's true. That's true.
I only don't really like the Ultimate or Marvel's Capcom 3 box art because like Hawkeye, I can always see him like dead center, and I don't like.
It's very odd, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, which gears is this?
This is
First one.
Three, right?
3.
Wait, 3. You're right. It's 3.
Okay.
A lot of people say this is the best
I like
one.
that game. I like that
Yeah,
I'm good with 3.
At least the
I have not played
multiplayer
3,
is the
but-
best, I think.
Yeah. I'm with that.
It really feels like it has a big send off. It's got like the emotional moments in it. It's refined from the previous 2 games. It's got really big bosses that are they're all set pieces, but they're very visually and thematically cool. There's like interesting weapons in it. It's just like a sort of culmination of like the other 2 games. And if you don't like cover based shooting, then you won't like it. It's a bit, I guess it'll be a bit generic for you, but as a Gears game, it goes. It is, it's the end of the story, and it's a nice send off. I like Gears 3.
Yeah,
It's got better cover shooting than fucking Deus Ex Human Revolution.
It does. We I think quite a few of us
Yeah.
don't dislike Human Revolution. I spoke a lot about that game.
I was never too crazy with how they sort of expanded the scope of the arenas in 3. I feel like anyway.
Yeah, maybe.
I always had the sense that they went for kind of wider level design to accommodate for the 4-player co-op, which I didn't play it in co-op, so maybe I'm not being fair to it in that way. But I do. There's sort of enough discourse, I feel, to, in my mind at least, substantiate the idea that this is probably one of the good ones. Yeah, I guess
Definitely better than the left half, in my opinion.
Batman, more like Badman.
Well, let's
was
start
Arkham was Arkham City like the beginning of the end for like these types of games? Like, did this kind of just like mark when it's like, okay, it's like you just put a character in a big fucking space and just give him a ton of shit to do, and you just don't pay attention to the main story, or like that was like the idea? I feel like it was
Everybody loved this game when it came out.
Yeah,
that's why it has a big 10 out of 10 at the top.
Yeah.
Because well, okay, I don't have like I would still pick Gears 3 and MVC3, but I did like Art City when it came out. I think it's sort of the opposite. It is sort of because the first game has a very like this is so dumb to say, but I'm just gonna say it, the Metroidvania structure, which is just to say you sort of loop back and forth, and it's a constrained area. This game, they sort of just took the same crit path, and then the world is bigger, which sort of just means you're doing the cute little flying around, but the side stuff is not. The side stuff is good, but it's not like. It's sort of like, oh, you get a call, and then I'm gonna get to fight this guy from the fucking cavalcade of villains that's in here, and then you do it. I think the open world is definitely the weakest part of this game, but as a crit path like Batman game, I think it's probably on par with Asylum for whatever that's worth. I bet Gears 3 is better, but it's good. It's probably better than Human Revolution, which people before we hopped in here were like railing against for all sorts of different reasons. So
I wouldn't go that far, but
Isa is here to defend the card and craft.
I really learned to dislike Human Revolution as years went on. It's just the level design just very prescriptive. You really sit there trying to meet the playstyle code. Like, here's the stealth path, here's the combat path, here's the hacking path. The story is like technophobia nonsense at points. The only good thing is when it tries to tell a message that no, it isn't about the fear of technology, it's about how companies misuse it, and it's completely optional. You can like completely miss that cutscene. But yeah, really bad game. Don't vote for it.
Yeah, I was saying that it's definitely the worst of these 4.
Like the very shallow exploration of like transhumanism and capitalism in that game is sort of like the sort of shit that you'd see on the front page of our atheism circuit when the game came out. To be honest.
peak
Yeah.
Bioshock Infinite tier
If-
rating.
If y'all
Okay,
remember,
it's not quite Bioshock.
No, it's nowhere close. I'd not go with that one.
when we,
There's
Matthew's not-
actually good
Made for
character
the same
moments
audience.
in Revolution.
I feel like when we did our Deus Ex Machina episode, we were sort of trying not to be too mean to this game. I have no opinions on it at all, but yeah, I think Raph especially, he wanted you, the viewers, to know that yeah, this game is insanely racist and like not very good and should not deserve to make it
Meme
past
voted
this
it
round.
in. He regrets his vote. Something.
So true.
Especially as like a sequel to the original, which most people here has played.
Yeah.
Like the level design in that game is so natural and nuanced, and then you go to Human Revolution's like, here's a bunch of lines you can go through depending on your playstyle.
Yeah.
And your skill tree.
Here's the stealth route.
Okay, I think
Yeah.
this is pretty
Yeah,
clear
I think
cut.
we're
Seems like a squash.
Yeah.
locked down here.
Okay.
Marvel,
Bam.
baby.
There you
Time
go.
to
We're
lock
getting a
in.
little.
This
Now
is
we're-
the
yeah,
this
we're
is the
getting a
only
little
year
spicy
that
now.
Alan cares about.
Oh.
So I think. Do we all agree that Spelunky should just be a lock? This is like clearly
Yeah.
a way better.
Yeah,
game.
I will
the
I will
clock,
say that.
The clock.
Yeah.
We gotta reset the clock.
Gotta reset the clock.
Oh, I forgot to reset the clock. Thank you, Gary.
All right. Well, now you gotta start the clock.
Oh yeah. Oh, my God. I'm a boomer. Okay, Spelunky.
Okay, yeah, Spelunky.
Spelunky's locked.
Absolutely.
Locked. Yeah.
I can only say nice things about Spelunky, but since it's a lock, I don't have to say anything at all.
Yeah.
I would have
It's
voted
like-
for it if I had thought of it.
It's like the roguelike. It's like the I have nothing else to really. I
The
can't
only
talk
good
about.
roguelike ever.
We could make like a
Except
real
for all the
argument
other
for
ones.
it when we get to the actual.
Yeah,
year
I want
discussion.
to compose my thoughts for like when the actual like
Yes.
canon's like happening. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm glad everyone else is big on Spelunky.
Hell yeah. Why the fuck is this Transformers game here? Can anybody explain that?
It's a really solid FPS campaign.
I was
Or
talking to
first
Heather about it, and I
person,
think she mixed it up. Like she didn't like mix it up when she voted, but she's like, "Didn't I vote it 5 times in 1 year?" I was like, "No, that was devastation." Or someone was like it. I think I forget who. Actually, I think this got on because John, Heather, and Luna, right? Which John and
no, it
Heather
wasn't
voting
me.
for this game is.
I
should be
figured it was a
instantly stricken
joke.
down.
I figured it was a joke vote because it's just like, oh, the Transformers game. That's the one that.
It's actually it's John, Heather, and Raph.
Oh, it's Raph. Okay, yeah. The fucking well, because for John and Heather,
He's
this
so
is not a
malleable.
joke vote, but just think about their taste, and then we can drop it. I love John. I love Heather, but
I hear this game is secretly fire, but I've never played it.
Are we picking it to make EO fans mold?
Can we just delete
oh
it?
no.
Hold on.
Or is it
We can do
Transformers?
it, I think it-
Let's take it out.
It's a lock in the opposite direction.
I'm
for
sorry.
sure.
It's locked out.
No, don't take it out.
So
Put it back.
Sorry,
Sorry, John.
You got enough games, John.
No. It's good. It's good. He plays Grimlock. He turns into a big dinosaur. And he goes, "Oh, me Grimlock" or whatever. And then
But
he
you can
plays,
do that in the platinum one.
Yeah, but the platinum
it's
one
way
sucks.
cooler.
It's so bad.
Well, it's
Like,
nominated, I
maybe
think.
good, but good.
Is it nominated? Wait, that's like 2015, right?
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Rex gonna defend that Transformers? I think he's gonna defend
Yes, it
Devastation.
is.
There's no way he fucking played Cybertron.
So
You are so wrong. He likes
Does he
both.
like
Oops.
he likes Cybertron? Why?
He likes the
That's
first
insane.
two. I don't know if he
Yeah,
likes it
I mean-
enough to vote it this high
No,
though.
okay, no.
He wrote,
I don't,
oh my god.
It's
don't
between
add
these
this
three.
in.
Yeah.
Okay, no. Yeah, I gotta speak my piece about that game. It is, it's like Duplo Vanquish. That's what the Transformers. If you're a young person in your life or someone who's like recovering from surgery and they want to play a third-person shooter, give them these games. You drive around, you do kind of mobile stuff, and then you give them Vanquish. There are enemies in here that are like, who are the enemies from Vanquish? The big guys, the Gordies or whatever.
Romanovs.
Romanovs. They're guys. They're like Romanov juniors, and they attack you and then
Okay.
they shoot you, and it's like. I'm done. You can cut it.
This is a valuable contribution. I'm glad that the game made it this far so we could get this. Now we can delete it. So I think between these three, it should, like, in my opinion, it should be fucking obvious that it's Etrian. Like,
Yes.
Can I
yeah.
Can I read out Ash's thing for Dragon's Dogma real quick?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not too long to worry.
Ash, for like, I think she hasn't joined any Beach Gen thing before, but like, she's in the Discord. She's like, I think she's a fan of this game.
Yes. One of the very few JRPGs that plays like a Western RPG. The way this game is so fearlessly systems driven while having such quirky sensibilities is so fucking fun and unique. Pure mechanics this atmosphere in a way that lets me overlook the shallowness of it all, because it constantly creates moments that no other game gives me. You tell stories about your time playing this in a way usually reserved for, like, Dwarf Fortress and RimWorld.
Kind of sounds like a bad roguelike in that way.
Yeah.
I didn't like the game when I played it, but it is quite interesting. There isn't really like another game that's like it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I
also really like the map because it has the nice mix of repetitive environments and unique locations. Because open runs usually go one way of making everything so unique, it feels like a theme park, or make everything so repetitive you get bored. I think Dragon's Dogma is in that middle spot where you have a lot of repetitive, in quotes, naturalist environments, but then you reach a very impressive location after a arduous journey through like wind pushing you or a dragon throwing you around, which I think adds to the adventurous feel of it all.
I agree with that. It does have that. I remember one specific sort of section where you go through this sort of cliff section. It's this narrow kind of environment where rocks can fall down, and then you.
Yeah, that's before the temple.
Yeah, you
one
go.
One fun thing is that if you're fat, the wind doesn't affect you at all.
That's so sick. And then eventually you get to the shore and you go up this little castle and it's ruined, and then you fight the griffin. And like, I think the game has a real knack for those sorts of moments. For making that flow really naturally. I do like this game a lot. But I'm really curious how the conversation is kind of gonna evolve with Dragon's Dogma 2 now being out as well, which I know some people were pretty disappointed with.
We're gonna finally realize Itsuno only was good because of some random programmer on
Thank you. Yes.
And 3.
The gameplay design in the corner.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can I go in on Etrian?
Yeah, Alan, go ahead on Etrian.
Okay, so it's like the first 3DS Etrian, so that means you get smacked in the face with that Yuzo Koshiro orchestral score. There's nothing better to walk around in the woods to than that shit right there. You've got the Ghibli background artist before he passed away. He worked on the environment design for this game. You've got this like sick Australasian setting with like cool environments that weren't present in the other games. You've got the best mechanical design Atlas has ever done on like any of their games until Etrian 5 a couple years later. It's just the GOAT. There's no competition. Easy lock.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Big agree.
I will say, as someone who I think someone pointed out here is like, do you even like JRPGs? Because you haven't reviewed one in like 2 years, and I looked and I was like, oh, I haven't finished a JRPG in years. I actually quite like this game. It is sort of a like, it's not sort of the first entry, baby's first entry kind of thing, because it's a little more like world map based. You're not like just in a gigantic fucking dungeon for the whole game.
Yes.
But I think it does a good job. Like you still are moving through a big dungeon on each like sort of area. And you sort of get to you get many dungeons. You get sort of like time to stretch your legs a bit. And yeah, just the way that combat works, the thank fucking God for an elemental system that like has weaknesses, but also like the way each element works like affects the enemies differently. Like it's not just like, oh, you hit it with the fire spell. It's like, oh, well, if you hit it with a fire spell, then it's gonna affect other enemies nearby, and that they might have resistances or some like bad thing associated. So you have to sort of like think about that, dude. It just move. It takes a lot of like standard dungeon crawling ideas and makes them a lot more thought out. There's better
the way the drop system works with that too.
Yes, exactly. I will say I never finished this one, but I did play like 45 hours of it back in the day. I because I played this too early in my JRPG life, it sort of ruined me on a lot of other games, I think. So yeah, great game. And even though I love Yakuza 5, I probably would put this in over just because Yakuza 5 is so uneven and.
Yeah, can I actually use like the last minute to like just anti-vote for Yakuza 5 real quick?
Sure.
Because like, I think Yakuza 5, I love the Yakuza series to death. Like I've played every single entry, like mainline entry. And Yakuza 5, I think, was the first time I've played a mainline Yakuza and realized that like there is a way that you can like have too much in a game, and it is Yakuza 5. That it was when they like completely doubled down on like having like a bunch of like what feels like really like pace breaking mini games for like each character. You have like 5 characters, 2 characters that share an entire chapter, like half of a chapter with one another, and of course it's like my favorite character sharing a chapter with my least favorite character. It like stops you a lot to like do these things all the time, and it took me like 3 years to play this game, and I was so excited when it was coming out. I stayed up till midnight to play it, and I was like, fuck yeah, Yakuza 5. And I think they've also doubled down on that structure ever since. Like, I think 0 was probably like them kind of going back to being a little bit shorter, but then every single game after feels like it's just like so bloated. Maybe not 6, but every other game.
Yeah, that's
after,
6. 6 is really, really solid.
godlike.
Yeah. Feels like they just like bloat the shit out of these games with like bullshit that you don't want to do, and it's just like, let me play the fucking game. So yeah, I love Yakuza 5, but I can't in good faith recommend it to like people that are just like trying to play the series. So
is anyone else going to defend Yakuza 5? I do love this game.
No,
I mean, I like Yakuza 5. I think it's got like the same charm as the previous ones, but doesn't
like
it
it
feel like this one's a bit more wacky than like the other ones? Like I feel like it's no, I don't know.
I mean,
like,
it's wacky, but it doesn't feel more wacky.
I don't know.
Others,
Between like the taxi stuff, the Haruka stuff, the fucking bear hunting, it's like particularly high stakes crazy.
10-second review of the Haruka chapter.
It's there's the way it like has these really like nasty characters and like shows their soft spots without like violating how nasty they are. Amazing, godlike.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, are we deleting? Are we
Yeah,
deleting Dragon's Dogma on Yakuza or?
Oh damn it!
Yeah,
I'm still hard.
Etry and W.
Yeah, I'd say Etrian should
it's the RPG that gets the action gamers wet, you know, like
I don't know.
I don't know about that one.
Far.
Yeah, but Dragon's Dogma is an actual action game.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
yeah, barely, fucking barely,
barely.
Okay,
There's
everybody
three classes
between these
basically
3 games.
doing Devil May Cry 1 combos.
Everybody between these 3 games, put your favorite in chat.
All right.
Oh wait, okay, I forgot Spelunky's cut. Can we cut Spelunky? I think it was
No.
so bad.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're like, yeah, it's over.
It is.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I was shocked 5 didn't get more votes.
It's okay. I'll just fight
me
harder
too.
for Transistor right now.
5 is the better game.
5.
But...
When did that come out?
5 is better for sure.
Was that
2016?
Really? Wow.
And I don't think it even made it on the.
That's.
Yeah, I don't think it even made it for elimination.
Okay, that's kind of strange, actually. Yeah.
I deadass might have forgotten to vote for it.
Well, and Raph is a shooter
for getting 5.
I don't. Is there even a single vote for that game? I don't think so. Damn.
Raph is a shooter for all these games, and he fucking like took off like major votes for like EO5 and Slay the Spire. Raph, I will never forgive you.
Oh, thank God for base paying.
2014 about to be the most annoying fucking year. Oh my god. Why? So I just want to say
the goat.
Really quickly, anecdotally, I remember this talk. I think this was like a Game Awards fucking Twitter talking point, but like, 2014 dog shit year. Why did Dragon Age Inquisition win? That should tell you that it's a bad year. This was our most dispersed kind of year. There was the highest like dispersal between games in any year, I think.
There's too many 6 out of 10s to choose between.
Yeah, and like we're gonna we have to like eliminate a fuck ton here.
Is anyone batting for Bayonetta? Is anyone going to go to bat for Bayonetta?
Bayonetta 2? Absolutely not.
No,
Thank God.
No.
I was so shocked it was here.
I mean, I thought y'all would go for the funny vote of like, yeah, let's do Bayonetta 2 and Dark Souls 2 just for the memes.
Oh wait, good idea. Hold on, everybody.
No, absolutely not. I will not lose Transistor to this.
All right. See ya. Dark Souls 2 might has like big shooters here. Isa's here, unfortunately. So I think this one is like for consideration later. We'll talk about it later. I guess I want to really quick on saying Ground Zeroes. I think Phantom Pain is a lock.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like I think Ground Zeroes is cool. It has its own kind of value to it.
Yeah.
I think if Phantom Pain is already making it, in my opinion, it's kind of redundant. I don't really need it in both years.
I agree.
Okay, thank y'all.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, kick it out.
Phantom Pain is just the later. It's the ultimate Marvel versus Capcom.
See, I do like it for being so tight, but
yeah. Can we talk about PT in the same
flavor.
lens? Like, it is a fucking demo. And
just
how many people here have actually played
I'm shocked that
I
I
have
made
played
it for you.
I have played it, and just a quick, I wanted to just quickly this out on PT. It is very overrated. Like, it is.
I
It's got
kinda
great
agree.
visuals. It's got great visuals for its time, but it is a fucking overblown walking sim and advertisement. Like, and it
Thank
inspired
you.
like a
But
million
at the
other
time.
trash, mediocre horror games. For fuck's sake, it launched Bluebird Team's career.
True. I think
Evil,
the social media virality element of it, I think that is unique. But
I actually think that's like the coolest thing about it. It was like experiencing it as it
I
happened.
think Evil Within is a more valiant effort at a horror game that is like actually a bit more interesting.
If you like PT, there's this game called Outlast you can check out.
Let's not get too crazy here. Okay.
The people did not like.
Let's delete PT with some dignity. Okay,
wait,
let's
do it. Before you delete PT, I just want to say, without PT and the ending of showing Norman Reedus, we would not be as open to him being the protagonist for Death Stranding. That's all I'll say.
Honestly,
that's so not true.
Right.
That's a good point.
I think games as events are cool.
Doesn't make it eligible, but I'm just saying it's valuable.
I'll say though, I get why PT is here because it was a very culturally significant demo, sometimes for the worst reasons, but also it's just a rip-off of Stairs. Hideo Kojima ripping up indie games yet again.
Ooh, is it? Do you mean the SCP thing? Or
yeah, that's
that shit was tight. Okay.
Famous Bridge.
All right. I don't know what to do.
Can I talk about the game?
Go left to right.
Alan, talk about Nidhogg.
Okay, it's like the only one of these indie pixel shit party games that is actually fun to play.
It's really good
every single time. It's the
Disagree.
only.
Duck Game's better.
No, wrong. Bad.
I do think, sort of once you get kind of good at it,
Duck Game has way more tech and depth than Nidhogg ever gets to.
I don't need tech or depth in a party game.
Okay, you just invalidated your own argument for this. Take it off. Take it the fuck
yeah,
off.
Get it out of here.
This party game is cool.
I guess most of y'all are down for deleting it, so
yeah. Let's get off.
I'm sorry. I want to talk about it more, but like
that was mean of me.
We set 10 minutes for everything. We set 10 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
So I loved Evil Within in 2014. I haven't revisited it since.
RE4.
Yeah, it does seem like slightly different flavor of RE4 with like 8 hours of dog shit sort of humored onto it.
It's got some really great environments that are just like these incredible twisting hallways and sodden flooded basements with guys with safes on their heads. It's really nice sort of imagery. Well, not nice, but evocative imagery. And then the gameplay is like based around fucking crafting acid arrows for 8 hours. Like it's not good.
Okay, it's weird. Like the spectrum of Mikami bad games, like PN03 exists on the opposite end, where it's like bad, but you get straight into the bad meat of it. And then like Evil Within has some really, really good stuff buried deep within. But the first hour of that game is just like miserable. And then there are these.
You could say the evil is without.
Can I argue for the Evil Within to at least
give it a chance?
Look, I do agree with basically all the complaints people make about this game. But I will say, and I mean, this isn't maybe the best argument, but the Evil Within is one of those games. It's a lot like Ninja Gaiden 2, which we've been experiencing a bit recently in a voice chat a few times, where it's a game where it feels like every chapter has some unique, dumbass bullshit thing to offer you. And you can argue how, well designed a lot of it is. But it is super memorable. Every chapter in this game to me sticks out, and each one provides a unique challenge of some sort. It's nowhere near as well refined as something like Resident Evil 4, and I don't even I disagree actually with the backlog review I made of this a few years ago, where I don't think it should really be compared to Resident Evil 4 that much, despite a lot of surface level similarities. But it's I think it's one of the closest games I've gotten to feeling like it deserves the title, like the genre title of survival horror, because you genuinely do feel tense, and it feels like a lot of the time you're making split second decisions that matter in a way that I just don't get from most games in the genre, really. Like it's the fact that it is a difficult game, but it's also a very janky game, unpredictable at times, that really elevates the overall experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
we got to move on a little bit.
Yep. Sure.
Yeah, we got to talk about the other games. We have 3 minutes left. Okay, let's sidebar this one. I guess out of these 3, maybe Qdle.
Ash's one for Transistor.
Transistor.
Yeah, Luna. Maybe something.
I'll run through it real quick. So here's Ash's stuff on Transistor. Supergiant really came into their own here, and the Radiohead-inspired direction its OST swerved into from Bastion just suits the game so well. The game over system is surprisingly punishing for a game this wide appealing, and there's so many snatches of real beauty and horror before it's all over. Goated aesthetic too. You fucking name a better look for a game than Circuit Board Klimt.
I see the vision.
I would definitely say this is a great pick. I do think this game, a lot of elements click together really nicely, and the death mechanics punish you in interesting ways. The game rewards you in interesting ways. It can be tense and exciting. The only bad thing I'll say about it is the dialogue comes exclusively through the sword that you carry around, which only talks in pretentious neo-noir cyberpunk cliches.
Yep.
Okay,
I was gonna say, if I replayed this game, I think I would really not like the writing.
Yeah, it put me off the first time I played it already.
Especially, I think from what Raph says, Pyre is significantly more interesting, and then also I got enough of it from Hades of their.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm gonna say real quick 10-second thing for Freedom Planet. Sonic Gunsteer Heroes level design.
Huh.
It's pretty damn solid.
It's one I really want to play.
It's a great game. I actually like it a lot more than the Evil Within.
It's
hard.
Would Transistor be Alan
I
Core?
really don't like Freedom Planet. I think the level design is kind of bad.
Transistor is Alan Core.
So
does anyone have anything to say about Strider?
This is not gonna.
I got it.
This is not gonna work. I think we need to add 5 extra minutes because we haven't talked about the elephant in the room.
This is the hardest
year. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
forgot about.
Okay, I'll give Pang a little bit about Strider, and then we'll talk about Dark Souls, and then we'll do something. I don't know.
Real quick. Freedom Planet. Gashi. Thank you. Nice.
So I was gonna play 3-Mate in chat recently, and it took a second to install, so I just clicked on Strider. I was like, oh, let's see what happens. It dropped me into action. No tutorials, no nothing.
Yeah.
I was to a boss before it told me anything. I was like, whoa! It feels very ahead of its time as it's sort of a proto Dread, proto Lost Crown, where it doesn't have quite as deep of a combat system, but it is just you take a lot of damage. You're just gonna just constantly shooting at you, and it's just a lot of efficiency kills as you move from one piece to another. It's a little. I was playing some of the challenge modes. I was actually doing the going and trying to prioritize enemies is done pretty well. It's got boss encounters, which I think is really cool. I played one where it's you fight a boss, and the next time you fight that boss and a second boss, and then you fight 3 bosses at once that are all different move sets but sort of similar. And I was they all have space control. It's not super hard or anything, even on hard difficulty. But I'm in terms of Metroidvanias, I think this might be the closest to a really fast paced arcadey. Good checkpoint and good scouting around. It takes that structure and it doesn't fucking waste time. It's just bat, you're in it. I really I think it's a really unique Metroidvania in that regard for that reason.
Yeah, it's really one of those rare games that it feels like it never gets in its own way. It doesn't really have any of the low-hanging fruit. Oh my god, I'm spending 1 billion years backtracking, in Lost Crown, for example. On that just really simple level, I do really like it. Cool aesthetic as well. Yeah.
If I took 2, I'd take Evil Within and Strider here.
Okay, let's address this fucking pile of shit. This game is so fucking.
Yay.
Oh my god! This game is a fucking meme. Y'all don't even really like it. Y'all just think it makes you cool. That's my take. On a
Like,
I
I bet it's so
Spelunky.
cool.
on a
I mean,
craft,
yeah.
on a craftsmanship level, this is fucking bad.
I think I think I
So it's a
finally
concept game.
like I finally evolved my take on this game after many years. This is the ultimate example of something which is very, very common in games, which is you like the game as you imagine it and not as it actually is. That's like not even strictly a bad thing. There's probably a lot of like legendary, artistic works that you could, I think, argue about that. But I think at this point for me, Dark Souls 2 it's better as like a like, whoa, look at all this cool stuff they were kind of trying to do rather than an actual work in it itself.
I guess there has to be something evocative about it to even inspire that.
Where it embodies the classic artists from software spirit when they were still making things for the PlayStation 2.
So true. I don't know. Like,
This game only exists as like a controversial pick compared to the first game.
As a concept, really, just not even as a game, like as an idea.
I think I love it because it does just about everything worse than like a lot of its former like Souls games from Soft. I don't know what it is. I can't really hate this game, but there was a time when I was playing this game like every other Saturday, the entire day with my friend, just doing runs. And I would tell him, bro, I hate this game. Why do we do this? But thinking back on 20 years later, it's like, bro, I kind of love this game. And I really can't tell you why. I think it's like just abuse. I think it's just like, man, we had it so good. Like just thinking back on like, like a bad relationship that like you just only remember the good things. But I can't tell you it was good. I really can't. It's just like, man, those were good times.
Can it not just be a supernatural entity that just inspires good and bad feelings in turn? Like it exists to cause discourse.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'll still vote for it.
I think it's one of those games that had a lot of ideas. Some of them were executed decently. That became very compelling for a lot of people, me included. I personally love like the build variety, which I think is very legit good without any asterisks. Like if you can think of a broken fun build to make, you can make in Dark Souls 2, which I think can be said for most Souls games that clearly favor one type of build over another.
Okay, I do actually remember back when I was talking to Jenny about it. It's just like, I love the variety you can get from Dark Souls 2, but then you still have to play Dark Souls 2.
So as a Dark Souls 1 PvP guy, like I reject any argument that Dark Souls 2 PvP is better because this is like a side note. Because Dark Souls 2 PvP is mediocre and Dark Souls 1 PvP is Kosoge.
The fucking
I never
backstab
understood this,
feels so much
netcode for
better.
Dark
It's like
Souls
so much
2
better
is
when
like
it takes 8 years to backstab. Sorry.
It's insane to me that I can understand maybe in some weird vacuum that you got a wonderful PvP experience 1 or 2 times, but Dark Souls 2 netcode is like infamously structurally very compromised. It's not great.
Okay.
Dark Souls 2 has so much useful jank for PvP that becomes amazing. It is on type of Kosoge.
I agree with that.
Okay,
100%.
but it's not fat people like mid-rolling around each other and just like constant backstab chaining, which is absolutely hysterically funny.
Dark Souls 2 proves the amazing idea that like there's no point in making a good game when fucking gamers are gonna be like, oh, peak, swag, soul, Majula. Okay, that's
yes.
It's also like its claim to fame is like being a cool ideas game in a series full of other cool ideas.
Yes, thank you, Alan. Thank you. That's why I love you. Oh my god.
All right,
Okay.
what
do we do with this? I don't know.
We could just all vote 2 games in the chat, like what 2 we would take. You count them up, and if we have issues, we can figure it out from there.
You can do
let's just do it that way. Yeah.
And just
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I'm counting votes on the side here too. I can
Freaking Fortnite, bro. Thank you, Alan.
You're welcome.
For providing some much needed levity to this podcast.
I'm kind of like a funny guy.
Okay, we got 1, 2, 3.
You
4,
thought that was funny thing.
5, 6 for Transistor. I think Transistor. 8 for Transistor, I think. Yeah, okay, that's like easy lock. We got 1, 2 for Freedom Planet. Sorry. We got 1, 2, 3.
It's actually
4.
it's actually looking like Strider and Transistor.
Yeah. We
I'm
got
getting
I'll take
5
it.
votes each.
I'll fucking take it.
3 for Evil Within. Wait, 1,
What the fuck?
2, 3.
No,
Strider
it's 6
has
votes
aura.
Transistor.
And then
So
1 for Dark
Transistor
Souls
for
2.
sure.
I'm shocked that Dark
Strider
Souls 2
second.
didn't have more shooters in here. Okay.
Same.
That's it.
Cool. Alan, I started giggling because when you said that, it reminded me. I don't know if you remember that fucking little Sam Squatch bit from like 8 years ago, where he's like, "Most people think of me as a low key depressed guy with decent style," and he's just walking around in a hoodie. This just made me think of that. I love that bit.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. We gotta
We
delete.
only have to knock out 2.
We gotta delete 2 games, yeah. So
Okay.
this is actually
Dude.
easy.
Rocket League.
Monster
Fuck it.
Hunter.
Easy.
Rocket League is so sick, dude.
It's crazy how sick Rocket League is for being like the most focus group esports game of all time.
It has like
Rocket League baffles me a little bit. The game makes me feel like I'm back on the fucking football pitch at my school, not knowing what I'm doing and ambling around, and I don't get it. I don't like the way it plays.
So the thing with Rocket League is like it has negative aura. Just when you look at it, but the actual like movement system in it is shockingly nuanced.
It's so cool. It's like
yeah, you can sort of rotate around your own axis and then just like obviously the boost comes from the back of your car, so any way that the front of your car is facing, that's where you're flying. And I don't know if y'all are sort of familiar with kind of the skilled fucking gaming scene for this game, but it is pretty insane what people do in it. And I think just for that, I respect it. And it's very polished. It feels really... I think they put such a noticeable amount of effort into the core interactions that I really respect it.
It's
I'm
fire.
gonna make an actual Fortnite comparison here.
Yeah.
But there's the oft discussed cut Fortnite section from the Silent Hill 2 remake podcast we did, where we discussed how like none of us are gonna learn the game because it's like Zoomer garbage, but just like the way it utilizes space. Similar to how like Fortnite and the building mechanics are just so like intricate and organic. It's sort of like one of those perfect examples of when we talk about like, oh, you should be using space more in your games as just like an organic mechanic. And I think the way Rocket League does that, I mean, in any game where you have like a driving model, like a dynamic handling model, it's like, oh my god, so sick. So I'll never learn Rocket League, but I do like respect it a lot, and that's even I'm gonna go like just on the cusp of like, I'm probably not gonna like that. That's for people like 2 years younger than me to play, but like, yeah, I respect it.
Every bone in my body wants to hate the game for being so esports, and I just love it. It's so good.
Can I read off Ash's thing for Sunwest real quick?
Yeah.
What I've played of Doom is always this push and pull between keeping cool and using your game and system's knowledge to your advantage while also having to give into something more visceral and possible to fully into it. The randomness and chaos underlying its systems creates a core tension that Sunlust uses magnificently with its choice of midis and level aesthetics. There's this sense of pure cold malice imbuing it, and the player is primed to be just as thoughtful yet brutal. The encounter design mixing puzzly fights with barbarism of navigating a hostile space hits me in my soul.
This is the consensus best WAD of the best game ever made.
Yeah.
Ooh,
It's
okay.
fire.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the top
The play
20.
is excellent, and it's clear. I mean, Ripix is one of the most legendary maps ever, and Danny Babinga is really not far behind. So, yeah, legendary WAD.
I feel like it's a really hard category, just because like we're only omitting like 2 games as opposed to like what we've been doing so far. It's like, well, I don't really dislike any of these games, and I like what all you guys have to say about Rocket League 2. It's like I feel like I like Monster Hunter Generations. We have to kill it though, right?
No.
Yes,
No,
yes,
God,
I
no,
hate
no.
this game. This game's
What
I
the
only
fuck?
just killed Downwell and Dying Light.
I was gonna
Like,
Generation
Generations
Dolphin.
is soulless.
Base Generations.
I want to hear actually that's a good idea. I want to hear the defenses for Downwell and Dying Light.
Downwell
I like
is just a
Downwell.
good time.
Downwell's
simple
fun.
fun.
Monster Hunter isn't.
And a good
I-
idea
I-
is one
I
that
think
solves not one
Downwell
problem,
is
but
a
multiple
strong
problems at a
enough
time.
game that, yeah, I think Downwell's a strong enough game that, I mean, in a better year, sure, cut it, but like, I don't know, I don't think it's bad enough that it necessarily needs to be eliminated here.
I mean,
Dying Light, on the other hand, is just, it's
No,
slop.
Dying Light's
I
cool.
like so good.
It's fun,
Light.
but
So-
it's kind of just slop, Like, I'd cut that.
I agree.
I-
That's where I'm
So
at.
good. The open
No,
world is so it feels so meaningful the way Night and Day completely contextualizes where you're parkouring. To almost
No, it
dangerous
doesn't. You can just turn, like, you can just go to bed or whatever when it's nighttime, right? Like, you don't have to interact with the nighttime element.
No, nighttime you get double the XP.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
you
Like,
have some-
it's not a hard
I
enough
could just
game that you
spend
need to do
twice
that.
twice as long in the daytime. That's the RPG
Yeah.
conundrum.
Well, I don't know. I think there's like a valid like argument for like when to actually play the game in like the nighttime, not just for the double XP, but it's like you have like more of an active threat actually chasing you. It's like most of the game, like you're having to like parkour over buildings, like the zombies are all on the ground, so it's like you don't really have to interface with them as much when you're having to do that. Now suddenly you have like these, I forget what they're called in the game. I'm just gonna call them hunters. Volatiles. You have volatiles that can actually keep pace with you. So now, like, you have like this high risk, high reward kind of thing for you get double XP, but you also have enemies that will actually just fuck you up and hunt you down. Like that's compelling. I kind of like that better than like having to deal with like, just slap on the ground. I'd say it's worth it.
I mean, my genuine take is that this, I sort of like Evan said, I think this game has a lot of good ideas, but I think in totality, a lot of the time that you're playing it, you are doing open world slob.
Yeah.
It's, I feel like it just doesn't, it often doesn't exceed sort of, it's sort of basic premise.
Like, I had a good time with it, but in the 30 hours maybe I played of it, it's like, it's like 10 hours of it are just whatever, like at best.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't.
For being really generous.
I didn't play past the 5 or 10 hour mark. I don't know, but.
I mean, I consider this a better sequel to Mirror's Edge than fucking Catalyst.
Ooh,
I think the other thing, I guess if we're talking about movement as well, like it's not something I'm generally crazy about because like it has all these contextual actions, all these sort of can animations. That's something that I mean, this is a personal thing, but like I just inherently don't really like.
Yeah, but one thing about Dying Light paired animations is how loose they are. They aren't worried about syncing perfectly with the other model. You can like vault over something and do a complete 180, and there's tech behind it as well.
Yeah, that's
I think
cool.
that it has a very. It might not have like the movement option of its sequel or even Mirror's Edge, but it wins in terms of physics and the looseness interactions.
Yeah, it's
compared to Mirror's Edge and something like Dying Light 2, which is more animation based.
Yeah, this is the thing you're saying you looseness, but like it's a very sticky feeling game. From my memory from when I played it, so it's been a little bit, but I don't know. How do y'all feel? Is this an obvious delete?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what are the arguments for the other ones? Environmental Station Alpha and Picross, like.
Okay, I do I need to make the Picross argument? Because I will give up Picross to keep Generations on here.
Oh my god, no!
Like,
no.
Oh, shut the fuck up! Come on.
I'll play Picross right now. I'll play Picross right now for Delete Boss.
I would love for you to. Actually, okay, well, see, I don't know, because I think this is the best Picross game like ever, right? I think in terms of like the I guess you could sort of call this like NP complete. Sort of like it's basically like elegant brute force, right? Where you're learning like a lot of heuristics on like, oh, if I see this and this, it's just like grand pattern recognition where you're like sort of clearing out block space and I recognize this pattern, I can do this, blah blah blah. I think because it's in 3D and the way it integrates like curving and flat blocks in comparison to each other, there's a lot of sort of like environmental tells that you're using to solve sometimes instead of just looking at the clues on every single block, and they very clearly design the puzzles around it. I would 100% get why people in here don't fuck with it as much, because it's sort of like, it is a puzzle game, it is very static, it is mostly about like the obfuscation elements of it, but it is also like cozy core, like it's like a library feeling. Actually, why am I shitting my own game like that? I don't know. because I 100% agree, but it like I hate that terminology, but it is definitely that. Like this is my bedtime game for like months.
What's wrong with
like
being
the
cozy?
best
What's
in that
wrong with
category.
being fucking cozy? Y'all try too hard, okay? Did your parents not love you? Is that it? Go back
My
to
parents love
playing
me
fucking
very
Prince
much.
of
That's why-
Persia Warrior Within,
Okay.
okay?
The
Not
fact that
much
my parents
time. I
love
need
me
to
is the
make an
reason.
essay argument.
Yeah, the reason because my parents love me, I don't need to get that love from my parents. Let's be fucking real.
All right. Hot Pocket, what's the argument for Monster Hunter Generations?
It's a good monster hunter game. There's a lot of good monsters.
I'm
Hard
not
argument.
quite convinced.
Okay, it is like the only like bad part of this game is that it just has
All
like
of them.
the rough on ramp.
Yeah,
Right,
the early
and-
game's
but-
off.
Yeah, the onboarding is insane.
But the nice thing with this one is that the onboarding is it's not hard because it like doesn't tell you shit, and then it's like obscenely like obtuse and hard. It just takes a while, and then once you get into it, it's like extremely expressive for like old school Monster Hunter. It's very cool in that regard, and a lot of great monsters too.
Okay. Quick 30-second thing on Environmental Station Alpha. It's basically one part a very on-ramping, like really difficult platformer. Like has a ridiculous level design and environments as the game goes on through it, all the way up till its first ending. It's honestly some of the most like fantastic, like really precise 2D platforming I've seen in a game of this kind of genre. And then the second half becomes a very La Mulana-esque riddle and puzzle solving game, which is really, really interesting. It basically it isn't really the second half, it's like the after the first ending, which isn't as large as the large majority of it, but it's basically like as you finally get to understand the mechanicals of this game, it starts to actually test your understanding of both the map, the environment, and being able to solve the puzzles that were already laid out in its environment. Very similar to La Mulana in that respect.
I
That'd be
think
my
we
Did
have to vote.
also play Environmental Station Alpha. Can I say a quick bit? I played like 3 hours of it before I dropped it. I kind of hated it really. It's like standard Metroidvania fare with the double jump that had to be unlocked. There were some
Should we put our
cool
2 votes for
platforming
games we want to
challenges.
drop in the chat?
Yeah, let's vote for the 2 games that you wanna cut.
Oh,
Did we already drop Downwell?
No.
Okay.
Monster and Dying Light and Downwell, Dying Light and Downwell, Dying Light. Oh my god. Okay, Dying Light is cooked, but maybe so is Downwell. God,
Wait. There's a possibility, unfortunately, as I'm saying this, that it could be saved versus Monster Hunter right now. Downwell's gone, though.
Yeah. Wait, Downwell. Wait, this Down. Wait. Oh my god. Okay, let me count the votes.
Downwell's gone, but the Dying Light Monster Hunter.
Downwell's gone.
vote.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I tried it recently and it was okay, but
It is okay.
Yeah,
But
I
that's
like
better
it,
than
really.
fucking Monster Hunter.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I
it's-
play Mr. Driller.
You can play it for
Mr.
just a
fucking
few
Driller.
hours and have fun, and then you're done playing it.
That's true for
Whereas
Playcraft
Monster
as well.
Hunter, it's like this big commitment.
Where's
where, like,
your
half
arcade
the time you're just
spirit?
wasting your time on shit. Like, it's not worth it.
We've
think
said
it's-
before, every monster in Monster Hunter is a different arcade game. There's so many arcade games in Monster Hunter.
No.
So
It's UFO 50. It's literally UFO 50.
No,
except
no,
with actually good
no,
gameplay.
no.
That's hilarious.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. The vote is Dying Light.
Dying Light. Okay. Thank God.
Durandal is locked into dropping Sunless and Downwell. By the
Right
way,
here.
I thought I was about to be betrayed by a fellow PC gamer.
Durandal DM'd me and said, "Oh my fucking god, I cannot stand when people talk about WADs. Holy shit."
What?
Okay.
That's
So
a good one.
2016, we're dropping one game.
I don't know any of these games, so just jump whatever.
I've only played Thumper. I want to hear the
it's-
Homeworld Star Fox arguments.
The Star Fox Zero meme has to end.
Oh, shut
Yes.
the fuck up. God,
game is
see,
terrible.
The thing is, I like this game a lot. The problem is, I'm a really dumb guy, so I need Heather here to actually defend it. She made like a really cool video about it as well. It has a Balkhog is probably gonna tell us that Balkhog, game dev, for those of you viewing who don't know, he's probably gonna tell us that the scoring system is actually shit. But from what was described to me, it seemed really interesting, where it rewards you for getting simultaneous kills on enemies, which is something that the gamepad aiming is kind of uniquely poised for. But then also you can shoot down their corpses as well, which is sort of sick. I think there's generally, obviously the gamepad shit is the unique, the fucking meme with this game. It's basically used to give you a wider aiming radius. You can aim with the gyro functionality on the top screen, but then you can see more sort of around your cockpit on the gamepad. And that is leveraged in stuff like the all-range fights, where you're basically charting one route on the TV and then aiming at the same time on the gamepad. Now, it's sort of suspect how necessary it was to do it that way, or how much this raises the depth. I think as like a vehicle of like I'm transported into the setting. Ooh, it feels cool to navigate this fucking ship. I think it does that really well, and it is just a tight, like well-running, well-playing Star Fox game. So that'd be my pitch.
I have a counter argument. I've never played this game, but my counter argument is this is a Platinum Games game from 2016.
I forgot this was Platinum. Oh my god.
Did they make anything good after that? Fuck, I don't know.
Oh yeah, they did. Soul Cresta.
Soul. Thank God. Okay.
Okay, Soul Cresta is not good.
I like Soul Cresta,
but both short-lived.
Obviously not a real argument. Obviously, we have to understand that was just a joke, right? So, does anyone have any complaints about this game? I don't know.
I do. Yeah. I think the biggest problem for me, and I hate to be like agree with this guy, but Neryl, I think his video where he's like, when he's like, no, he was right. He was so right. I think the biggest problem with this game is like when I play it, I'm just like, I could play Star Fox 64, which has many of the same qualities, but it controls well. And then or I could play Sin and Punishment, either of those games. And I think Star Fox Zero is in a really, really weird place where it's like the scenario is too similar and the controls are too weird, and it is. I think like there are a lot of these games where I think they're like Evil Within. I think I mentioned that as well, where it's like you can play RE4, and that's when I'm playing Star Fox Zero, or like the few times I have like I've been forced to in my life, held at gunpoint. I'm just thinking about if I when I escape, I'm looking forward to playing Star Fox 64, and especially playing Sin and Punishment.
I'll say I've heard the argument before that if you get past the hump of learning Star Fox Zero, you're sort of playing a normal video game, and it's sort of not that exciting. I think that is fair. I do get intrinsic enjoyment out of that, out of the way it plays, but I understand the hesitations toward it. Thumper, I mean, I would classify it as like very much experiential rhythm shit.
I like Thumper a lot. It feels like the game feels like if you're having an ADHD attack and you're trying to get a thought through your brain.
Yeah.
It's good.
So the music, all the sound design and everything was done by this amazing bassist for this band Lightning Bolt, which like all the freaking Mew heads in here would know. I've been a Lightning Bolt fan since I was like a kid. I ran across one of their albums at Goodwill and bought it, and it's like absurdly noisy, like violent music. I love that band. I feel like if I went back now that I'm like much more of an arcade rhythm gamer, I don't think it would hold up quite as well, because it is sort of this is in the elevated Simon Says category where it's like not that much elevated. The cool thing is that every single like world, quote unquote, is a different time signature. So you're sort of moving through the time signatures as you go, which adds a little bit of like the way it escalates the challenge is not necessarily in like more traditional rhythm game ways, but just in like the music itself, which I think is sometimes like sort of underrepresented when we think about like the arcade rhythm games, the Beemanis and the newer Sega games. So I like those aspects of it. I probably would have been fine doing Homeworld and Star Fox, but I hate arguments, like serious arguments that are like, well, you could play a better game, because we could always play a better game. So actually, I would say drop Homeworld. Fuck you, John. And you quoted Neryl. Neryl's fucking stupid.
I do want to hear the homeworld argument, though. I'm really curious. I'm
I
not
do wanna
very
hear it.
well in this game.
I think John, you're the biggest shooter for it, right?
Oh yeah, I think I'm the only shooter for it. Homeworld, it's not that special, but I would say that the thing about it, a really really solid single player RTS. They really don't make them like this anymore. I think if you played like RTS games, and I know StarCraft 2 has like some representation, but it's like really really like excellently put together a single player campaign. And like the cool thing about Homeworld, like as a series, is there's like continuity between missions. So like if you send all your guys out on like to do like one like last desperate push on some mission, the next mission like you'll spawn in and you won't have any of those units. So it makes you think about like your strategies in like in a much more like long term way. And they combine this with this like I think pretty solid terrain system where you're sort of thinking about like elevation, and coming out. I think it was one of those games where I would like sit down and I would like I would do like one mission and I would put it away for a week because I was so concerned about like my virtual army being horribly killed. And I think for me it was just a really compelling. It was the fact that no one had talked about it, so I got to play it, and it was like a genuine surprise when I finally got to it. And then also, I think it is actually a game with like really really strong scenario design. And there are things like they're able to play around with like your army composition in a really cool way, where it's like one of the cornerstones of the Homeworld series is you have like this main ship, and the other games it's like this mothership, it's like this big like banana shaped thing, but here it's like this desert aircraft carrier. So you can actually you can use it in a really like it is both like your like mobile base, but it's also you can use it in a very offensive capacity as well. And so there's just a lot of really cool strategies that with all those things kind of in your mind at once. It's like, how can I minimize casualties? How can I use my base, which initially seemed like you need to be like really defensive with it. How can I use it like in a more offensive way? And then also, how can I like minimize like casualties to my army, and then also use like some of the tools where you can like commandeer enemy vehicles. How can I use those abilities to like make this really interesting like patchwork army? And then and I think the story is like fine, but it's a cool vibe, very Dune-esque.
I think that is very valuable as someone who has honestly zero RTS experience. The kind of multiplayer focus of the genre. That is something I would probably take like another couple of years to even want to approach, right? So having something that has all this very detailed scenario design, I think that is really worth commending.
I played about half of this game, and this is Relic, right? It's not. I think it's Blackbird, but it's a bunch of ex-Relic people. And Relic's RTS I find much more approachable than like StarCraft 2 or something like that.
Okay.
The macro is much more cut down. It is a very micro-driven game where you don't have like super high APM requirements to like do things at a basic level. Relic is great. Relic RTSs are great. That's one of my favorite styles.
Thumper is the one I'm most down for cutting, to be honest. I think, I mean, I guess one point I have against it, I would put it in a similar category to something like Rez. And I think...
Let's not then...
Wait, so we're keeping it then, right?
Wait, what's that?
It's a similar category to Rez? So we're keeping it, right?
Well, I was going to say that Rez just fucking washes it.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
I don't think they put.
I mean, as a Rez superfan, I mean, I quite enjoy Thumper. I didn't think it. I kind of get what you're saying. Maybe it is kind of like Rez in that it's like rhythm, but not really rhythm, and it's like experiential rhythm gaming. But like,
yeah, you're like on a rail, and you're doing gameplay that's not super dynamic, right? I think for Rez, you could even make the argument that like, the conceit of it is relatively narrow in terms of. Like it's possible.
Can we be clear that
to say about Rez.
Thumper is a rhythm game. Rez is not. Can we just make that distinction?
For sure. Yeah.
That's true.
I didn't want to like I didn't say that they're rhythm games, but like
now both of them are sort of bad examples of their own genre pulled up by their aesthetic conceit. That is a similarity.
Yeah, and I feel like exactly that's sort of where I was going. I think Rez does a little more with it by allowing you to kind of play with the soundscape, whereas I think Thumper it's a little less varied, it's a little less I don't know, nuanced. I've got
a million and one things I could say about Rez. It's literally my favorite game, but for the sake of keeping it brief, I would prefer Homeworld and Thumper to be kept over Star Fox.
God damn it.
That is the chat is going Homeworld and Thumper. I might have to go Homeworld and Thumper. I really have no.
Y'all fucking insane. Oh my god.
See, I sort of wanted to defend Star Fox Zero, but like I haven't played it, and generally, I don't know.
God, that Thumper.
I need to rewatch the Heather video.
I'm so fucking anti-Thumper now. I hate y'all so much. Oh if I was anti-rhythm games before, like, god damn it, dude.
Doesn't Star Fox Zero have those like super long missions that everyone hates with the RC cars? Or
yes. Oh my god. Yeah. There's so many away missions. That's one of the other things too. Is it's like if it was just the rail shooting, it would be really good. But you have to like do the drone missions.
You play that shit once and you never have to play it again. Okay. All right.
The other games you play
like
y'all like
you like Monster Hunter. Okay. Like, have you looked at your Steam?
The only thing I said about Monster Hunter today was that Generations Ultimate has good monsters and it's a fun Monster Hunter game.
Yeah, actually, Hop is very consistent.
That's true, but god damn it. Okay, let's just move on. Fuck it.
All right, can I also say one more thing?
Yes.
There are, I think, no other rhythm games on this list. We didn't. No, there's so many great rhythm games that came out in the 2010s. There's no Chunithm, no Ongeki.
You tried for the Project Mika.
Project Diva Arcade.
Yeah,
this is
nostalgia. Like
this is like voting.
Getting one. That's good with me.
This is like voting for Hillary Clinton on the basis that she's a woman. Don't you want?
You are German. I am so fucking tired of all you Europeans talking about our politics all day in chat.
Don't you want the best example, like the best specimen, like to represent your?
I canvassed for Bernie. I went into the fucking boonies to canvass for Bernie. I will take Thumper on here just to have something. All right.
Dang, it kills me enough that they use y'all as much as they do. You're say you're shit king.
Yeah. Oh, look what happened. None of you voted for Kamala, and now Thumper got through. What do you think?
On the record, I did. Yeah, so fucking true. I did not vote Kamala. I live in Virginia. It was going Kamala either way. Thank God for our system allowing me to do nothing and still say, well, it didn't matter.
All right, let's move on. Oh my god. Okay.
So like, can we just eliminate Hollow Knight because it'd be funny?
Facts.
Yeah.
So Hollow Knight is the one I like the least out of these, probably.
Yeah.
I will say Sonic Mania is a really fun romp. I'm sort of negative.
You say, buddy?
Yeah. Okay. We had this discussion. I'm a little cold on it, or in the context of this specifically, on the basis that it just owes so much to the rest of the Sonic trilogy on the Mega Drive.
Honestly, I think that's a bit overstated. Like, yes, visually, aesthetically, it owes a lot. But I think especially the second stages of each level showcase a lot of unique concepts that at least official Sonic games didn't do before.
That's the thing. Like, with every quote-unquote world, the second stage is the one where they really remix it, like, a lot. And that is
even the first act is usually a lot better than the original, versions of these zones. Like they put so much effort into redesigning and retooling these levels.
They did. Yeah, I guess I'm trying to be like to have a critical eye on it, but I mean it is cool. It is a cool game. I do like it. I was playing it today actually randomly. It's like it definitely had. I will say I have a personal bias against it because the fucking Puyo shit. Not only am I terrible at Puyo, but also I'm fucking colorblind. And then at this resolution, it's like, it's fucking over, dude. Like, that shit fucks me over every time. I think, yeah.
No, I was gonna say that also the drop dash is one of those small, smart additions that completely changes how you approach a level.
It definitely smooths out the game a lot. It definitely just makes the flow a little nicer.
You can see it, how it became a staple of even Sonic Team games. Even the 3D games have drop dash, and it rose a lot to how impactful and meaningful of an addition it was a Sonic Mania.
I think we're all okay. I think we all just want to cut Hollow Knight, right?
I know, yeah.
I'm fine with that. Part of me is like, I feel like I've been too hard on Hollow Knight, but also
it's not bad.
I haven't played. I don't really know that much about Night in the Woods, and I have a feeling, even though I probably wouldn't like it, it does speak to having a walking sim here and there.
We've
quote
been too
unquote.
harsh on the furry picks so far, so maybe Night in the
But
Woods.
that's true. We need to give them one. Y'all gave me Thumper. I'll go against all.
Do the
of them.
furries fuck with insects?
They do, but they do of Night in the Woods way more.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say Night in the
You
Woods
can't
to
call
me,
Hollow
like,
Knight the furry rep and then kill Night in the Woods. It just doesn't work that way.
Okay.
well, I wouldn't call Night in the Woods either, like just like a walking sim game. Like I'm not really sure like what you'd classify it as.
It has a
but
No, it
triple
is.
jump. It's Mario 64.
It has mini games in it, but that's basically
Yeah.
equivalent to Edith Finch.
Right.
Mm.
You're like a character just living in a town and like there's a mystery going on. Like whatever kind of like genre of
It's
game
Edith
that
Finch.
is.
It's Edith
Yeah,
Finch.
Edith
I
Finch. There you
I
go.
have to say I was a little cold on it personally. I do recognize sort of the quality of it, but yeah, I'm not mad at getting it to the next round.
Yeah. No, I'm cool with cutting Hollow Knight. I really don't care for it. I mean, I like it, but I mean, like, I kind of respect the other three. I mean, I don't really know anything about Fight and Rage, but I think I respect like the other three games more than
I'm
like.
I'm shocked
Hollow
Fight and
Knight.
Rage didn't
But-
make it just like normally, but
Me too.
I was thinking of voting for it. I think I voted for Devil Daggers instead as my because I did play that one a little bit for this as like homework. So, but yeah, I would go for Fight and Rage. I respect it a lot.
guess let's just fucking kill Hollow Knight. Fuck this.
Hell
I
yeah.
haven't played
That was
Fight
easy.
and Rage yet, but I'll vouch for it.
This is the most
All right,
boring
Among
gamers
Us.
of all time. Wow, we got through this faster than I thought. Okay, this is our final year.
So, is there any reason why it's not Ballistic NG for this one?
Honestly,
Among Us is
right there.
that is the
Among Us?
one I would go for as well.
Yeah.
Ballistic NG is a great game, but I will speak that Among Us was culturally very weird, very influential, also very transient.
Yeah, but we
One
killed
of
some
those-
culturally relevant games here. Hollow Knight just got thrown
Oh,
off the ship.
But I was, it's
Yeah.
one of those games
Yeah,
that
we
comes
killed
along-
PT as well.
It's one of those games that comes along once in a while and reminds you that like you just want to play hide and seek with your friends and you want to tease and you want to
That's
trick your
true.
friends. We all
I
love
do
to
think
bluff.
like in that kind of sense, it is like actually a pretty really good like from a game design perspective. I actually think it's a really solid rendition of Trouble in Terrorist Town, stuff like that.
Can we agree
Yeah,
that
I've
Among
had
Us
some
memes
great
are
times in
funny?
the game.
Like, I'm not
Yeah.
afraid to say it.
I think
Yeah.
Among Us is funny. I think the game is also fun. That's a very rare combo.
Yeah.
Oh.
Another thing that's pretty interesting. I can say for Among Us because I haven't played it, but this type of social games in general, it's how much they encourage social interaction with minimal rule set. Like you have a bunch of people. One of them is like the source guy. Again, terms of
The imposter.
Yeah, that's
Imposter.
awesome. I like that.
Yeah, and you can get so many unique social interaction for such a simple rule set like that, and I respect that a lot about these games.
Yeah, like there are mafia style like type of games like this that are like have like very intricate rule sets of like different roles and shit that you have to like keep in mind of like, oh, this is what this character does and that you have to keep in mind of everything. For Among Us, it's very simple. It's like, is this guy acting kind of crazy? I think it's him. And then you just like dogpile that guy, and then it turns out you're actually that guy. And that's actually fun in a game.
It encourages so many like psychological manipulations and interactions with other people. We just one of these guys is doing some shit.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty incredible for a game like this.
Yeah, I think there is value in Among Us, even if it is like culturally like a meme game. I do actually like it a lot more than
Same.
probably most of these games on here actually.
Oh, what are we fucking talking about?
Peng just doesn't. He hates acting his age. Okay, like
I look at my age. I see because I did go to like a couple. I think when this came out, because I was already I think this it didn't come out when I was in grad school, but like by the time it got big, like pandemic era, I was at undergrad school. I did go to a couple parties where we actually like pulled out the computers and played Among Us. It's fine. I played a lot of Mafia when I was a kid, like as a card game, and then I played the StarCraft 2 mod for it, and then I played it on some forums back in the day. Maybe it was like 13 or 14. I like Mafia as a game. I don't think Among Us is like. It is just sort of iteration on that. It just sort of happened to be the flash in the pan. I don't know, like, I mean, we can maybe keep it around. Do we want to like?
I mean,
look
it's
at
not
some of these
making it.
others
Like, let's
to
be real.
cut?
Like,
Okay, yeah, thanks. And I would vote Ballistic. I can defend Ultimate if someone like else doesn't want to. But
I'm not.
think
Yeah, I'm
it's
not an
making it
ultimate
on.
guy. I guess I'd be curious to hear your defense.
I'm
I've
curious.
never been I think Ultimate competitive is boring to watch. I don't,
Mm.
and I was sort of already out of Melee by the time it came out. I do like that I think the big thing they realized is that they looked past all of like the online dipshits who are like, you need to add back L canceling, you need to add back wave dashing, blah 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 blah. And they were like, what are the fundamental design issues with Melee that necessitated those like exploits or additional mechanics or whatever? And they just did it at like a fundamental level. They took off end lag off of a lot of the aerial moves, sometimes even more so than Melee with L canceling. They added they added dash canceling moves, which sort of, it's not quite the same as wave dashing. Wave dashing is still really cool, but it like added sort of the same like selection of options when you're like grounded to choose from. I don't necessarily. I think as a casual game, you can play a little more competitively like Melee. It does that a lot better than Smash 4 Brawl.
Yeah.
I still it's not as good as Melee. It's probably not even as good as Project M, low key. But you know, I think it does get it gets a decent amount of hate sometimes. I think it's still cool. I don't like to go to the Ultimate tournaments though, because oh my,
You don't want to be with them.
no, well, because I used to go for the arcade would be late open till 9 or 10 for the Ultimate tournament. So I would go literally multiple times. Like I'd be playing DDR or something, and I just get a whiff of shit, like actual feces.
No.
And people putting their hands, like I've got my hands on the DDR bar, and like people are touching me. It's like, can you fuck off? The Melee players like don't act like that. It is, but the Ultimate players are actually.
Why is the
fucking
meme
weird,
real, dude? Why is it real?
And this isn't back when it came out. This is like in the last year.
That's
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
insane.
It's weird because like even like the Smash rooms that I went into when I used to go to like older like CEO when they actually had like their own separate Smash room, like that room did fucking stink. And
Yeah.
I did not like, I wasn't all about like, oh, like how bad can Smash be? Because I play Smash. I'm going to this fighting game tournament for Smash Brothers. Let me go in here. Oh, and I would leave.
God damn
Yeah.
it.
So are you dropping the game based on fecal osmosis?
Yes.
Yes. Also
That's a
because
good reason.
I respect Blizzard Genji too much.
Yeah. I guess I want to say, just even on a basic level, I'm being such a fucking annoying asshole, right? But like in this game, like play as Falco, run, jump, and then try to turn around laser. Like it just it works. It feels like dog shit. I'm sorry, I have to say it.
It is sort of facts.
It's like Pang, you're correct in saying that. Like again with sort of recovery and just general spacing, they did do a lot to make them more viable, but it still has sort of just a sticky, unpleasant feeling to it. I never feel like I'm quite as precise with my movement as I want to be. Yeah.
I do think also, and because I'm not as, especially since I haven't kept up with the meta in years and years, I have a sneaking suspicion that changing that kind of stuff at the fundamental level probably had dire effects upstream at top level play. Not as bad as Smash 4 Brawl, which were like unwatchable competitive experiences, but like it's like I don't know. And so many people play them that I'm like, there must be something to it. I know that's a dumb argument to make, but like I think it is better overall than what came before it. It's not Melee, but at least they gave it an honest shot.
They
in a
did.
way
They
that
really
didn't
did.
really. Yeah.
So before we all collectively decide on Ballistic NG, has anyone played Thronebreaker? Anyone knows what that's about?
It's a
I
card game,
own
right?
it. Like
I
Raph
voted for that.
gifted it to me, and I have not played it. I don't even know what it is.
This is
Is
another
it,
Raph
is it
style,
just the Raph pick? Wait, who else
It's a
voted
John
for Raph?
pick.
John, give us your eulogy on this one.
My eulogy. It's okay. I'm trying to think of I'm trying to remember why I liked it. I think the basic reason for this is it's sort of like Pyre in that it is one of the most like I'm trying to think rotating cast for your party members where like you'll make this and it's like a Witcher game, so it's like you make moral decisions all the time. But it's like your party members are also your deck, so like, a lot of times like you'll have really like busted strategies that are really good. But then like whoever like your key player is a racist, and so you have like should I conduct like an act of genocide? And you're like, well, this person has been carrying me like Atlas through all the hardest parts of the game. Maybe I shouldn't. And then they'll be like, well, you're not really racist against the non-humans. I'm going to leave. And it puts you in a really weird position from like then on. So you have to really kind of change your strategies. I think that is a really cool like sensation. And I wish more RPGs and I wish more like role-playing games like put you in kind of that uncomfortable position. I think it's a game where it doesn't really feel like it's obviously designed around you, but it feels like it isn't designed to
your convenience.
Always
maybe,
come. Yeah, it isn't always designed around your convenience, and there are some decisions that will like. I think there are like 5 big maps that are like the entirety of the game, and they're basically these giant board game style maps. And the game like religiously auto saves, and there'll be things where it's like if you screw up something where like someone like leaves your party or you get somebody killed. A lot of times it'll mean like, okay, you've got to spend like 3 hours, going back through the game. And so I think it is a really impressive how they make you really commit to your choices in a way that I think very few role-playing games and just games generally like don't really seem like tempted to do. So I admire the game a lot for that. And I would say even if it does not make the canon, it looks like it won't. And I'm also voting for BNG. I think it is definitely worth like a deep sale. Give it a look. I think you'll probably enjoy it.
That's something I didn't know about at all. Yeah, thank you for that. I'm glad we talked about it at least.
Yeah.
How does the card gameplay compare to regular Gwent?
Oh, it's bad. They changed the rules.
Oh no.
The thing with the game is there's like normal Gwent, which is like pretty good, but the other thing is there's a lot of like gimmick matches, which and this is going to sound weird to say. I want to move on. But there's like a section where it's like they lay out the entire board and you have to like move a card around like it's a stealth game, which is like as cumbersome and awkward as it sounds. And like the idea that the way they're kind of playing with the rules is kind of interesting. But it's like the mechanical part. I think it changes too much to really be like as enjoyable as like a traditional card game.
Oh, that's a shame. Still sounds interesting, but I was looking forward to my Gwent when I
think Rap said it was still the CDPR game with the best gameplay.
That's awesome.
Oh, hands down, yeah.
That isn't difficult.
Yeah, I know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So for our viewers, Ballistic NG is a wipeout like. So very much inspired by the PS1 wipeouts, and we're all in agreement it's like really based. I think that's it, right? This is all we gotta say. We're gonna talk more for the actual canon. Yeah.
I will play it. I promise to play it.
Yeah, I've also only touched it a little bit, but
I'll have to, I guess.
No
one even argued for it. It was just like, here's these 3 games we talked about. Oh, here's this one though. It's better.
Yep.
That's how it goes sometimes. That's how it goes.
I gotta know now.
Yeah.
Pocket says it's like Wipeout 3 with better maps, so it sounds like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, highly recommend also checking out the custom maps that like this one person has made for Ballistic NG, like a shit ton of them. They're ridiculously good.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to find one for that. Hold on.
Try those.
So
just on Wipeout, like I don't know how many people have played the original Wipeout, but it's like the most cranky core fucking music game.
It is.
It's got all of my favorites: Left Field, Chemical Brothers, The Prodigy. Fuck me, it's like it's the perfectly my sort of era. I love that shit.
British techno.
Exactly.
Wait, is that Wipeout? Was that the first one or 2090? What it was?
I'm talking about the original 1995 one on PlayStation.
Okay.
I think the first 3 all have that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they have similar soundtracks. A shame the first one doesn't play that well compared to the second and third.
And if you like Wipeout, how it controls so bad, people have actually recreated, to the best of their ability, the Wipeout vehicles into Ballistic NG.
Ballistic NG, basically. I mean, it's like it's one of those what am I like spiritual successor or whatever, where it's like, oh, they just made a sequel and they don't want to get sued.
Yeah.
From the sounds of it, it's basically the Wipeout 4 we never got.
It literally plays nearly exactly like the PS1 Wipeouts. The main difference is the wall collisions are more forgiving. You can, if you've played like Wipeout 3, it's like if you are not parallel to the track, then you like touch it, then you lose a ton of speed. You lose a lot less speed in Ballistic NG, but also the maximum speed is much higher.
Yeah, I was always more partial to the Wipeout HD physics.
Which is also they added it's a mode now.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
it's like it's actually shockingly good. The mode.
It's pretty sick. This is really nice to have sort of both sensibilities catered to. Okay, those are some of our nominees for each year that will make it into the next round. I'm gonna scroll by really quick. I don't know. We haven't set a date yet for the exact thing. Look forward to the exact format we're gonna go with this time. It's gonna be a little different. It's gonna be a little less biblical in its scope. Yeah, we have a couple people watching in the chat. If y'all are upset about any of these nominations, speak now or be silent forever. Yeah. I don't know. Like, do y'all, I guess we can finish off. Maybe do y'all have any predictions for what is going to be the most bloodbathy year?
2019 has fucking 3 houses.
2019,
dude. Like, it's
Yeah.
no competition.
I will be. Oh God, dude. I want to dogpile 3 houses so bad. I cannot.
Me too. I'm with you.
I'm gonna turn the
Team up
computer
again.
off that day.
Oh yeah, Riff is asking in chat. Yeah, Hall and I just everybody unanimously agree that shit did not deserve. Riff? Do you want to speak?
Yeah. Sorry, buddy. Everything else on there was kind of better.
Wait, the Hollow Knight that was 2017, right? Wait, where is that? This year.
We had to cut one.
I was trying. Actually, I was trying to be like the enlightened centrist. Sonic Mania, maybe, but yeah, the agreement was too strong on Hollow Knight.
At this point, we didn't even talk about the Fighting Rage, but that's also in the boat where it's like with Ballistic and G, where it's like it only got. Everyone knows it's good, but like not enough people had played it for it to actually just get in.
This is, I finished it once and it's like, oh, this is cool. I recognize the quality, but I gotta put way more time into it.
I played a few stages, but it hasn't clicked with me much yet.
I guess that's a discussion for when we get to it, but yeah, 2019, 3 houses. Look forward to that. I mean, you can't see, maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, I'm not gonna reveal sort of the years that we're not listed here. Maybe we can keep that as a surprise. There's a couple. There's one other 2019 game that I wanna delete. That I'm very excited to shoot against.
These real lists have some stinkers.
Matt is asking, what are the cliff notes for Hollow Knight Got the Shaft? It's mostly, honestly, this was not a very analytical discussion. I'd say my point is that it's a little too repetitive. It's a little too boxy. Every room looks like a box. No slopes. I think it does sort of the sense of isolation of something like Dark Souls pretty admirably. But then, to me, it just moves into a challenge-focused, almost Celeste, Super Meat Boy-like direction. And also, like, with its boss fights and all that. Toward the end, where I feel like the game is not really playing to its own strengths. It's this very limited, yeah, you move here now, then you move there now, kind of dynamic.
I have a relative argument. It's an argument about like the game's relative to it, but like Sonic Mania, Night in the Woods, like absolutely fantastic games in their own genre, like easily arguably the best in each of those. I don't think Hollow Knight is as good as like any of like top like best Metroidvanias I've touched. It has nothing on like the appeals that any of its like individual elements could be great for. It's my opinion.
Yeah, I think its individual parts are all competent, but I think there's just nothing about it that's where it's really reaching for something greater. I do think, again, the most it does is it's reaching for the Dark Souls sense of isolation of, oh my god, I'm stuck in this area, I don't know how to get out, I don't have a map. That is cool, but then even that aspect as it goes becomes kind of less and less relevant. The movement is nothing impressive. I find the combat is nothing impressive. Again, you can look even at games like Metroid Dread, which is recent Metroidvania, not one of my favorite games or anything, but does way, if we're looking at sort of linear challenge focused combat experiences, I think that game just does way more.
It is so crazy to me that Strider got in and Hollow Knight did not. I was
Strider's
not
better.
That's actually insane. Strider making it in this is an upset for me. I was not expecting that.
This was 2014 was a difficult year.
I sort of think
Somehow.
Strider versus Hollow Knight on strict like combat fundamentals and like boss design. I'm sort of want to be like, I don't know. I think Hollow Knight might just have it by, but it is as an experience. I think, like,
Yeah.
realistically,
Oh, yeah.
Strider is
Oh, yeah,
way
yeah.
more, way closer to the like the ideals of the server compared to Hollow Knight, which is just a drag in a lot of ways.
I think that puts
Also-
it very well. Yeah.
Also, Strider 2014 is an important hallmark. It's the only good double helix game.
It's crazy.
Killer
It's-
Instinct.
It's the whole bad Capcom era. I was surprised at how much I figured I would like. Oh, this game had oversold to me, and I pick it up and it's boring, and they fucked it. I was like, no, the movement is cool. It's really like precise and slick, and yeah, we can talk about it more once I fucking beat it. And then Evan was like, "Why are you hyping up this game? You only played half an hour." I was like, "No, I played like half of it. Like I've actually been playing it outside of chat. That's how much."
Yeah,
I
it's
like it.
pretty short. I
I
might
mean,
have to
I
replay
think it's a
it,
pretty
but I
good
played,
game,
like,
so
once.
that's why I was surprised you were praising it, Payne, because I just thought, like, man, he hasn't played nearly enough to like understand why it's an enjoyable game at all or anything. But you know, like, no, you're right. You've played enough.
Yeah. I have heard that the end part is annoying, but like I don't know how much. I think I'll be fine with it once I hit the end. I'm not too worried about it.
Oh, yeah,
I do wish
Riff.
there was like there's not a very hard is there for that game?
I don't believe
Excellent
there is.
question.
No,
Yeah,
it's been a
that's a
long time
bummer.
since I've played it.
I
Well, at
will
least you can play
say
the challenge maps.
Alan Wake got yeeted as well for Alan Wake enjoyers. Sorry about that. Yeah, I guess now that we've locked down our list, we can also, again, sort of like Pam wasn't playing, we can think about, okay, what games are maybe worth putting a little more time in so we can solidify our votes. I think Fight and Rage might be a good one. I feel like that game has potential to make it really far.
Can we actually get a little bit of a talk on Fight and Rage? Because I realized that like there's been a little bit of a bit on Sonic Mania Night in the Woods, but not much on Fight and Rage.
Yeah,
I'd like to hear about it.
I think I would rather save it for the actual canon.
Okay, that's fair.
Because like I think we're
Play it.
pretty
People
good on
should
time
play
today,
it if
but
they haven't, because it's pretty
Yeah.
accessible.
All right, I'll go
you
play it
can
now.
pick it up
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
easily.
I think the gist is just like it's like a combo CAG beat 'em up, except actually good with really good fundamentals.
Yeah,
more or less.
That's the simple.
And it's kind of like Zero Ranger, where it's kind of an amalgam of a bunch of old beat 'em ups, where like you can kind of recognize, oh, this is from Streets of Rage, or this is from Alien vs Predator, or this is I can't even remember the game, but there's a bunch of arcane shit that this one guy like put together, and I think that's sort of and it's also like Zero Ranger, where it's like it's both a really good like entryway if you're not super familiar with the genre, and then really cool like novel in and of itself.
God damn.
Yeah.
it has the third strike parry, and we love parries
Oh, yeah.
here.
We love fairies.
I think that is a good closing statement. Thank you all so much for watching. I don't know if I'll upload this like right now or when the rest
wait,
is like
one more thing.
prepped. Yeah. Oh, Issa, go ahead. Yeah.
Buy Magenta Horizon, $10 right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Magenta
buy Magenta
Horizon,
Horizon.
buy it right now.
It is
I'll
good.
flash it on
Play it.
screen really big. Magenta Horizon, best action game of the decade.
For sure. Sweet.
Okay. Bye bye, y'all. Say goodbye. I'm gonna stop recording. Bye
Catch y'all
bye.
later.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Okay,
See ya.
Bye.
Take care.